how to remove mental blocks and fast track success. Now, inside this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how you can fast track success in any area of your life. You can apply this to your business, to finances, to health, to relationships, to lifestyle, absolutely anything you want. And this process, if you apply it, I can guarantee you within the next 21 days, you will see some drastic change in your life. So all of this stuff that I'm breaking down in this video is stuff that I've applied for myself. It's stuff that's allowed me to manifest multiple synchronicities. It's why I'm currently in Marbella right now and I'm recording this video. And yeah, let's dive into this. So when it comes to removing mental blocks, first thing you want to do is actually get specific on a goal. And for most of you people who are watching this video, chances are you want to be making a lot more money. So let's select the goal. And this is going to be one of the areas of life that you choose. The goal, let's say, let's just call it 20K per month, all right? Whether it's pounds or dollars, 20K per month is what you want to achieve financially. Now let's break this down, and this is going to basically dive more into money beliefs in this video, so we can dive into this as well. The step one to this entire process, and I'm going to write down all the steps here, is awareness. Because what you'll have right now is the current version of you, which is formed by your habits, your beliefs, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, right? And basically what you want to do is become aware of the current patterns that you're living your life in. And the way you can do this is by, first of all, becoming aware of exactly what it is that you do on a daily basis. And this is going to help you become aware of your physical habits. So habits, what you want to do is go ahead and analyze what you do from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep. Okay, so let's say you wake up at 6 a.m. and you go to sleep at 11 p.m. What exactly is it that you're doing on a daily basis during this time? Okay, let's say you wake up, you scroll, and then you eat some breakfast. And then from, let's say, 9 to 5, you're at work. And then from 6 to 8, you're trying to focus on growing your business. But you're distracted. And you just don't have a clue what you're doing, right? So no plan. If this is your current life right now, and this is going to obviously look different for everyone who's watching this video, but what you want to do is just look at what you're doing between your wake up and your sleep time. If your life right now does not look anything like it would be if you were making this amount of money, then something needs to change. And the way you can simply do this is by asking yourself, and this is going to be kind of like your old day in the life. Even though it's your current, we're going to start calling it the old one. But what you want to do is ask yourself what your new day in the life would look like if you were making this amount of money per month. And so once again, from the minute you wake up to the minute you sleep, this is going to look very different, by the way, depending on what exactly the life is that you want to be living. Maybe you wake up a lot later, and that should be AM. But maybe you wake up a lot later, maybe you sleep a lot earlier, right? Whatever it is, write down your dream life that you would have if you were already making 20K per month right now. Would you wake up and scroll? Probably not. You'd maybe wake up and meditate and ground yourself and read over your goals in order to start with your day. Would you go ahead and eat breakfast, right? Like, I know for a lot of entrepreneurs, they do intermittent fasting in order to focus themselves a lot more throughout their day. What would you have for breakfast? Would it be crap cereal or would it be healthy fruit, right? When it comes to work, would you even be working a 9 to 5? Seriously ask yourself these types of questions. Would you be working a 9 to 5? No, if you were making 20 grand a month, you clearly wouldn't. What does that mean? It means quit your job, right? And the point I'm getting to is what you want to do is you want to embody this new day in the life to the best of your ability that you possibly can right now. And what this means is moving from from fear to faith. And this is how you're going to go ahead and basically break out of the loop that you're currently in right now and remove some of the mental blocks you have. Now, I'm diving a lot deeper than I know I should be in step 1, which is awareness, and I am starting to talk more about acceptance and overcoming, which are the following steps that are going to come after this. But for now, what you want to do is just become aware of your current day in the life, and actually title this as the old day in the life right now. Become aware of your habits, everything you do from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep. And then also on the other side of a piece of paper, just write down your new day in the life and get very clear on kind of the ultimate movie scene of one day of your higher self who's making 20k per month. For now, just complete that step. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the next part of this process inside awareness as well. So now that you have your old day in the life and your new day in the life, the next thing you want to go ahead and actually do is this, okay? Because these day in the life habits will only allow you to become aware of the physical action you're taking, but there's also mental action, or just mental beliefs and emotions and thoughts you have. So, cool. Let's make like a little checklist. So you have your old day in the life, and you have your new day in the life clearly written out. Now, step 3 of awareness is becoming aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. Okay? Now, we're going to dive into this step now. So, like I said, your old day in the life will allow you to become aware of your physical habits, and that's very easy to actually change. But your thoughts and your feelings and beliefs will precede the physical habits, because what will happen is your body follows your mind, and if your mind is set on beliefs which are faulty, then you will always default to those faulty beliefs. So what you want to do now is simply just ask yourself, what do you believe about this goal? Truly, what do you believe? What do you think about money? What do you think about making this much money? How would the people around you perceive you if you were to make this much money? And does this goal make you uncomfortable? Because if it doesn't feel anywhere near normal to you, then you know that there's some kind of blocks around money that you have. And I'm going to just write down some common beliefs and common emotions that people operate from when it comes to goals like money. Okay, so scarcity, shame, fear, okay, lack. If you currently believe that money is scarce, how are you ever actually going to step into this reality right now? If you believe money is scarce, then that's a mental block that you have. And to make this even clearer, I'm going to put this on like a timeline scale, okay? What you have is your current life, and what you have is your new life. And all of these here are basically little walls and blocks that you have in the way of you basically stepping into this new timeline. So you can see that every timeline exists right now. I could write down infinite timelines of you making infinite different amounts of money and infinite different physiques, infinite different everything, right? Like you could have a different house, a different car, different family, different wife, different kids, whatever. There's infinite amounts of that. However, in order for you to step into a different timeline, there's going to be certain things that need to change mentally in order for that to be reflected physically. So scarcity, that's one thing to remove. Shame is one thing to remove. Fear, lack. Now, scarcity, like I said, if you believe that money is scarce, that's obviously a block that you need to remove, okay? And if you have shame around money, and all of these beliefs will come from your childhood as well, because between the ages of around 3 years old, even younger than that, from birth to around 12 years old, your brain is the most impressionable. And the easiest way for you to actually go ahead and undo the beliefs that you hold right now is to look at where you were surrounded or who you were surrounded by during your early years of life. And if that is your parents, which in 90% of cases it is, and maybe it's older siblings, maybe it's other family members like grandparents or aunties or uncles, if you spend most of your time with them, look at their beliefs around money and around your goal. Because if your parents have always said that money doesn't grow on trees, if they've always said that, for example, making this amount of money is evil, money is, the cause of all evil, anything like that, then subconsciously these will be beliefs that you more than likely hold around money. Even if consciously you don't choose to accept it, subconsciously I can guarantee you it will be there if that's what you were surrounded by during your early years of life. So that's one of the easiest ways to go ahead and analyze your current subconscious beliefs, is to look at who you were surrounded by during your early years of life, especially your childhood. So, point I'm getting to, right, is basically the next step. So what we've done here is uncovered all of the beliefs you hold around money. And the way you can do this is by simply pausing the video and asking yourself that question: who was I surrounded with in my childhood? What do they believe around this goal? Okay? Now, the next step from here is basically acceptance. So when it comes to acceptance, now that we have your old day in the life, your new day in the life, and your current thoughts, feelings, and beliefs around money, what we can understand is your habits which are driving your body, and we can understand the thoughts and feelings which are driving your habits. And your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are basically the lens through which you are seeing life. Because if you believe that money is scarce, you will only see a scarcity of money. If you have shame around money, then you will only feel emotions of shame when it comes to money. If you believe that, money is something to fear because it's evil, then you will only see evilness around money, right? Like, if you constantly have had the belief that money is evil, then I can guarantee you that all you will have seen in the news, in social media, is people using money for bad things. Now, on the flip side, are there people using money for good things? Yes. Is there an abundance of money? Yes. You can very easily undo this belief by just looking at the banking system. They're literally printing money every single day. Is there people who lead a good life and feel fulfilled whilst having a lot of money? Yeah. Look at guys like Tony Robbins. Look at guys like Ed Milet. These are some of the mentors I look up to. And these guys are operating from states of gratitude, states of love when it comes to their money. And once again, this money abundance, that's kind of the same as lack, like the belief I talked about there. But when it comes to acceptance, right, what you have is a vibrational chart. And what you have at the top is enlightenment. What you have in the middle is acceptance. And then around the bottom, you have emotions of shame, guilt, fear, etc. Okay? And then you also have in the middle here, you have emotions of love, peace, joy, and also below acceptance, you have neutrality. Your goal right now when it comes to acceptance is to take all of these low frequency emotions that you currently have around your goal and transcend them into neutrality by reframing your beliefs. Okay? So like I said, if you believe that there's a lack of money, just search up the banking system and you will understand that they're printing money and that money is infinite. Another example you can do is literally just go to the richest part of your country, book a weekend there, and you will see that money is abundant. Maybe it means moving country for a weekend. Come to Marbella, go to Dubai, and you will see Lambos, Bugattis, and G-Wagons as if they're Fords. Okay, maybe not Bugattis, but Lambos and G-Wagons definitely, right? You will just see like 20-year-olds driving them like it's normal. And whilst obviously cars and, material success isn't, the be-all and end-all when it comes to life, the real thing is actually feeling love, peace, and joy and fulfillment. What it will allow you to do is basically, it will basically give your brain evidence that money is everywhere. And if you can't travel to a different country, then what you want to do is give your subconscious mind evidence through videos, through online, you can literally just search up all of these cars, you can spec them out and just imagine that you already have that thing right now. And that's going to impress the subconscious mind as well. But when it comes to all of this stuff here, the reason why you're living the current life you live is because all of these things, your old day in the life and your actual thoughts, feelings, and beliefs around this goal are impressed into your subconscious mind through that thing that I said, which is habits, right? So, yeah, when it comes to acceptance, reframe your beliefs, and you will therefore neutralize any negative energy you have around your beliefs, okay? And then they will no longer mean anything to you, basically. Because for me, for example, right now, if someone said there's a lack of money, I'd be like, what are you on about? If I said to you, you're a giraffe, you'd be like, what the fuck you on about, right? And the reason why you react in that way is simply because you don't believe it to be true. And therefore you don't see through that lens, and therefore you don't see that reality. But if you really did believe that you were a giraffe, when you look inside a mirror, you'd be like, fuck man, I can start seeing the little giraffe patches, my neck's looking a little bit long. Like, you know, that's basically what would happen, right? And that's how stupid it can be. If you just imagine that to be a belief, well, imagine how stupid some of these beliefs are that you hold around money. Hopefully this is making sense. I believe it is. But now we're going to dive into step 3, which is overcoming. And let me go ahead and remove some of these, okay? Let me remove this for now. I'm going to leave the vibrational chart there. And let's go ahead and put the third step, which is overcome. So what you would have done by now is by reframing your beliefs, you would have neutralized them and been able to accept them. And when it comes to a stage of acceptance, you no longer believe that to be the truth. Okay? You no longer believe that money is scarce because that's not the truth. You no longer believe that money is evil because that's not the truth. Money is just a tool, right? That's a belief you can reframe into. Once you're at this stage of acceptance, in order to overcome, what you want to do is tell yourself the new truth that you want to believe, okay? And the way you can do this, once again, is by stepping into the new actions. And also stepping into the new thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that the version of you who has this goal would already have. So, the best way you can do this, and one of the ways that I do this, is by stepping into the emotions that I would feel once I already have this goal. Okay? And that's everything up here. £20,000 per month. What would that allow for you? Would it allow you to retire your parents? Would it allow you to build charities? Would it allow you to give your kids all of the best opportunities, the best schools, the best healthcare? Would it allow you to treat your future wife? Would it allow you to buy your dream car and actually feel fulfilled when you have that dream car? Because when you operate from a stage of love, peace, and joy, rather than fear, shame, and guilt, what happens is that these goals are simply a byproduct of the emotions you currently feel. And Joe Dispenza, he talks about the thoughts sending the signal and the feelings and emotions drawing them back, okay? What I mean by this is that the thoughts you hold, okay, and the feelings you hold are simply reflected into your reality. So, in order to send a clear signal out to the universe from your brain, you want to get very clear and specific on what your new day in the life would look like, and you want to embody this. You want to embody the new you. And what this means is consciously every single day stepping into the new thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions of your higher self. That's what this basically means, right? So, yeah, that's basically it. That is literally it. Embody the new you. And that's how you'll overcome. If you repeat with consistency and embody the new you, I can guarantee you that your life will change, you will fast track success, and so long as you become aware of the old day in the life that you're living and the old thoughts and beliefs that you hold around money or whatever goal it is that you have, and you constantly take the effort to transcend into these states of energy, you will start seeing shifts in your life. And like I said, 21 days is all it can really take to make this difference in your life. So take action on this video, guys. Make sure you've taken some notes, apply it. If you guys want the full 21-day protocol that I use for myself in order to apply all of this in absolute detail in every area of my life, just go to my Instagram, comment break the loop on one of my recent posts, or just DM me that word and I'll send it over to you guys.